Welcome, friends, to another guest replay with Markbug again from Cue Ball. Today, Markbug is in his AMX 1375 in a Tier 7, Tier 6, Tier 5 game, one of 3 light tanks. He finds himself on Outpost in a standard battle. Now, Markbug is going to have a heck of a game here. He's going to do something in this game, get a Fadin's medal, which is something that I have also done only one time. Fadin's medal, this is a medal where you kill the last enemy vehicle with your last shell. So it's a very tricky medal to get. Sometimes you can arrange things so that you get the Fadin's medal, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. So let's just watch Markbug play on Outpost. So he's coming up here into the middle. I have to admit that I usually go off more to the east, kind of to the H9, H0 area there, trying to spot the campers in the matching bush on the other side. But Markbug has chosen to go into the middle. I think he's hoping to light people crossing over to there, and also to maybe get some shots up into the town, or spots up into the town. Interestingly, he's been joined in his bush by the Chaffee. That is always irritating to me. 2 light tanks in the same spot do not produce twice as many lights. Light tanks really should spread out. Not blaming Markbug, he came here first. It's really up to the Chaffee to move. Anyway, you can see that the Reds have actually pushed south pretty aggressively. But now they're in a bit of a hole. They can't advance around that corner without running into whoever Markbug's team has there along the K line. There is an IS, though they might believe that there are more back there as well, which might make them reluctant. But there are no shooters to take these guys on. So we have a bit of a stalemate. They can't advance, but at the same time, Markbug's team doesn't have the resources or the lights on the opposing ridge to be able to advance either. Spots a T-50 crossing, but again, not in a position to fire. Also, if he were to fire, of course, he'd probably be lit by any tank destroyers or other campers that they have there on the sort of the E8, F8 area. The DA does decide to push. Markbug tries a shot on him. Is not having much success at this range. And as we thought, he gets lit for his efforts. So he's backing off and reloading. That T-50 might end up being a submarine. But the T-50 is close enough to proxy spot him now, which is a very dangerous situation for Markbug. So Markbug decides to risk the crossfire, but to go in and kill the T-50, because otherwise his position there is going to be entirely untenable. Dodges a few shots, and gets out there unscathed. So good on you, Markbug, for that. The DA is down. So I guess Markbug is thinking, okay, 2 of their light tanks down. And we know the Chaffee's on the other side of the map. This might give Markbug an opportunity to press on this side. Oh, and of course we've got all these lovely heavy tanks coming down off the hill. I guess they've got nothing more to do up there since the red team has very handily won the north. And Markbug takes advantage of that to farm them a little bit. So still not a fantastic game yet. Markbug's team is down 2 tanks, 4 tanks to 6, 4 kills to 6, and he hasn't been able to get either a lot of damage or spotting yet. But that will change. The mantra of the light tank player is survive to the late game, because that's when you become so much more powerful. And I think Markbug is taking that to heart and is trying to survive as best he can. His shots are not landing at this range. I'm kind of curious to know what his equipment is. because he is not having a lot of luck with his gun accuracy. Still down 4 tanks. North is still in control of the red team. And those remaining forces of Markbug's team, that SMV, seems intent on getting himself killed, though he's in a tricky spot. He's got tanks on either side of him, so he really does need to find a place to take some cover. I don't know what that VK has been doing, but he has managed to get himself almost erased. Yeah, this is tough. That guy's not showing much of anything except tracks and turret. Did manage to get some spotting on the IS-2S, which is nice. Still just tracks on that KV-1S shielded. KV-1 shielded. The Reds are still now pushing in on the west. Cromwell, well, the Nashorn has killed a couple. The Cromwell's now swinging around. And Markbug's team is getting squeezed into a tighter and tighter area. Wisely, I think, needs to take care of the threat on one side of, on one flank, so that they're able to give their attention to the other flank. IS is going back around to base, trying to deal with that Cromwell and that Jackson. Now, they're only down 2 guns at this point, which is a nice thing, and the hit point count, at least so far as we can say from the hit point bar, doesn't look too bad. So this is still a recoverable game. Markbug still has most of his health, though he's down to only 20 rounds at this point. 4 regular ammo, 16 gold. So now that SMV is starting to hurt. He's got that Type 58 behind him who's just farming him. And there he goes. So the KV-1 comes out into the open, having killed the SMV, and this gives Markbug a chance to do something about him. Tracking and damage, critical and damage, but Markbug has to go back on the reload. They're now down 3 tanks, so it's 3v6 at this point. That hurts. Also, firing premium at the Bishop, that hurts too. But anyway, he had it loaded up for the other tanks, and you know, target of opportunity. What are you going to do? So while Markbug's team is down by 3 tanks, 2 of the red tanks are artillery. So if you can take care of the Cromwell, the Hellcat, and the Jackson, then it's just arty cleanup, which is a lot easier to deal with. So Markbug is parking out here. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe he's hoping to relight the KV-1 shielded. Maybe he's worried about that Hellcat coming up from behind. Oh, there's a KV-1 shielded. Give him his backside. Very nice. Doesn't get lit, which is also very nice. If that Cromwell tries to come around on the IS, Markbug might be in a position to help out the IS from here. He's advancing to see if he can get them while they're crossing, but unfortunately he's too far back for that to be able to work. And now here comes the Hellcat. Hellcat seizes his opportunity, knows that the team's going to be distracted by the Jackson, by the Jackson and the Cromwell, and thought he could sneak up on Markbug. Chaffee takes out the Hellcat while Markbug's on the reload, which is keeps Markbug alive to continue the fight. The IS died valiantly, but he managed to hurt them pretty seriously. So once again, we're in a position where it's only 2 tanks against 4, but they are very hurt tanks, and Markbug has the advantage of vision and mobility. It's very sad that that shot didn't go through. I don't know why that Jackson decided to come back out after having dodged a shot from that place already. So we're down to 5 shots. 4 regular ammo, 1 gold. Chaffee's moving in on the bishop, cleans him up. There's a guy on base. Could be the Cromwell, could be the bishop, probably the Cromwell. We saw him over in this place before, this area before. Lights the bishop, but is going for the cap reset. Takes a hit from the bishop, but it's not a penetrating hit. And now he's down to a reload to get 1 round. Now, I have to wonder here whether the Chaffee is just going to try and protect Markbug and is allowing him to take the last shot in order to be able to get the top gun, which if he did was a very kind thing on the part of that Chaffee. So let's take a look at the end plates. Ace tanker, high caliber, top gun, and of course that Fadin's, which is always a real beauty to have. 2,700 damage, 1155 assist, 6 kills. 25 bonds for that. Very, very nice. So, obviously Markbug's top of the team by experience, top by damage, top by kills, top by absolutely everything. Very nice save on the part of Markbug. Very wise to retain his hit points to the very last minute. Would have been a very costly game since he did fire every single round he had, but the action mission payout helps to offset those costs. So there you have it. Very, very nice game by Markbug. Thanks for sending it in. If there's anyone else who would like to send in a replay, please let me know, either in the comments or by getting in touch with me, and I'd be happy to put another replay up for you. So that's me finishing up for today. Thanks for tuning in. Good luck. Have fun. Hope to see you on the battlefield.